Who's there? It's just me, Stuff with T-Ravis. Welcome to the series, Minecraft. After then, this episode, Ender Pearl Golf. Alright, so the first step to making a golf course in Minecraft is set up your world. I would suggest creative, otherwise it's going to take a long time to get all the blocks you need and make it really hard to do. We'll go through here. I like to show coordinates. Maybe. There we go. And then I just kind of scroll through these, make sure they're all kind of where I want them. I like it to be on day. You can leave it, because sometimes playing at night's cool, but I don't like the weather either. You can leave that on, but I think it just makes it easier to build if it's day and the weather's fine. You can make it flat if you want. That'll make it easier to build and find a location, but I technically prefer a more old world, an infinite world, where I can just find a nice location where I want to do it. I'm going to type in the seed golf. It doesn't matter what seed you use, but I'm just going to see what golf gives me. But yeah, you can do flat if you want, but I like a more natural look rather than having to do more terraforming myself. Because if I really need something flat, there's a command you can use to make it flat, which I'll go over in a video hopefully soon. But yeah, we'll just see. Let this load in. Loading in to a nice mega taiga, that's what it's called, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, probably not the best place for a golf course, because the first thing I like to do, if it's not a flat world, is I like to search for the place I want to build a golf course. Over here, looks like it could be a generally good area, depending on whether you want to build 9 or 18. Kind of depends on the size you need, because mountains make it hard, so you need a kind of flat area. And I like to find one without a bunch of holes, because I don't like to leave holes. I technically like to fill those in. But yeah, another thing is, what I like to do is, a lot of times I don't build these for exactly the exact playing of the Ender Pearl Golf. I build them more just for the looks of it, but they can be played with Ender Pearls. It's just they're generally not as long as they would need to be, but I combat that by adding in trees, which if you land in is a -1 stroke when you play on my courses and other things like that. But I don't make super deep bunkers where you can't get out of them very well. So basically I make it where it's pretty easy to play with the Ender Pearls, but more than that, it just looks really nice. I'll search through some of my courses I built after I go through how I build them. The first thing I like to do is just find some Ender Pearls and some of the other supplies that I need. So I'll do that now. I'll find some of the supplies I need and talk about why I choose those. So the first thing I like to do here is I like to choose what I'm going to use for like my T markers. You can use whatever. I try to generally line up the colors, but you can use either, like I'm using here, stone stuff, or you can also use wood for them. Either one works, or if you want to use like hedges for them, you can do that too. But I like to, if I'm doing anything, I like to put hedges just like kind of around my T boxes rather than use them for T markers, but whatever you prefer. I'm going to take birch there for my flag sticks, and then I'm going to search for some wool here, and I like to use 3 colors of wool. Red, well, first of all, came across here. For the bunkers, you can use any of these kind of cut sandstones, or you can use full blocks, but I prefer to use just slabs. And I like the smooth one, because then I don't get the edges don't look all bumpy, they're nice and smooth. You could also use the red stuff if you wanted to, but I don't really do that. I like the bunkers looking about as natural as possible. Like I said, there's the big blocks you can use, but I prefer slabs. And then get here in the wool. I like to use red for front pins, blue for back, and white for middle, kind of like real life. And then I just move those in next to my flag stick for when I need them. So I'm basically just setting up all my resources that I need here. scroll back down and look for here in the carpet section. I like to use these for my fairway. And then for my greens, I like to use whole blocks of either concrete or terracotta. It's really whatever you prefer. I think most of the stuff I've built so far uses terracotta. Now you could also use these to make your fairway, but then there's no real differentiation unless you're going to use the wool for the greens, which I don't prefer to do that. So, and then plus the fairways, you'd have to break all the blocks and place those in or place them in, and then they'd either be lying on top of the flat ground or you'd have to put in the sides, which that's just too much work. And then for trees, I like to just grab whatever saplings I need and some bone meal, because then they'll grow automatically when you place it. You hit it with bone meal, boom, your trees grow. So then after you get kind of all the resources you need, maybe you can grab some dirt blocks if you want. That's probably a good idea. Doesn't hurt to just have some dirt blocks. But other than that, maybe some hedges, and then you can use other stuff, whatever you want, for cart paths and that later. But as you can see, this is kind of how you grow trees. I'm just going to grow them here because I'm going to probably make the hole. I'm going to do an example hole right along here. So I'm just going to place those trees there. As you can see, you can line your fairways however you want. So those will probably be the left side of the fairway. And then I would put the green up around to the left. But basically, you just kind of want to find your area, find where you want to put your hole, and then you start building. I like to start at the fairway. So I just kind of put the fairway in. You can either do a 3x3 pattern, like I was doing there, or like I said, you can put these blocks in, but as you can see, they kind of stick up, or you have to break it and put it in the ground. It's a lot more work than just placing the wool down. Or you can do the wool and just single line patterns like I'm doing here, which that works too. And then you just go to the green. Normally I'd probably put it up to the left on the hole, but there's a nice little location right here, so I'm just going to show you how I put in the green. I'm going to show it with the terracotta, and then I'll switch over to the other blocks later. But yeah, you just kind of, I like to edge the green so there's almost a fringe with the darker stuff, and just kind of edge the green. I don't like the little pointies in the corner, so I try to fix that and kind of make it all smooth. And then I put the other stuff in the middle. So basically you'd have your fairway done, and then you'd be putting in your green like this, and then you'd connect your fairway and your green, whether you had the 3x3 pattern alternating or the 1x1 pattern alternating, whatever was your decision. And then you can just add in your bunkers wherever. What I like to do when I put in bunkers is I like to make sure there's no kind of dirt showing on the edges. So like there's the edge, you can see all the dirt showing, but I don't want to make it just one wide, so I'm going to expand it a little bit, and then I'll double up my slabs all on the edge so you can't see the dirt, and then you got a nice little bunker in there on your green side, and it looks pretty good. Or if I do put the bunker in a hole, I like to make sure there's a whole dirt block showing. I just don't like half a dirt block showing. And then after that, you'd have your green done and your fairway done. And your bunkers in and your trees lined. You can go back and put your tee boxes in. I'm just going to show one tee marker. You can put in multiple or one, whatever you prefer. I like to make it like real life, so I have multiple tee markers. And I would like to connect the tee markers to the fairway, so I do a similar thing here. But as you can see, the problem with the tee markers is you can't place them on top of the carpet. So then you're kind of just left with, it looks dumb because you're left with grass underneath, and then you can see your fairway. But the key is, what I like to do is I like to put a similar colored terracotta block or something under the wool, and then as you can see, it almost blends in there. And then you'd connect this to your fairway would connect to your green, and you'd have added in your bunker and trees, and you'd kind of have your hole. And then you'd plan out the next one, and just keep going until you have as many as you want. And I'm going to switch over and show you why I don't use this color. As you can see, it kind of looks unnatural with how bright these colors are compared to the more natural, kind of darker looking of the terracotta. This is why I don't use the concrete. But I'll switch it all over here, let you decide which look you like better. I mean, there's probably other colors you can use, but I think these are the two kind of most natural and best looking ones to use. But you can, decide whatever you want to use. But these are the building materials that I think work and look best. And then after I get this in, there's one more thing to do on the hole. I like to do this after I make all my holes and have them all connected to the tee boxes and the fairways done and everything else in. I like to go back in, and then I like to put my flags in. What you do is you put in a nice 4x4 location. And then what I like to do is I like to fill the bottom with the wool, so it almost looks like the nice area there. And then I like to go 4 up from the bottom and put on the flag. And then you go back and you can see your flag and see where you're playing to. And then you just touch and hold on the screen, throw your ender pearl, and you get pretty close to the flag. And then basically you're just trying to get your body in the hole, which I'm not doing a very good job of because I've not thrown an ender pearl in quite a while to practice this. But the easiest way is to hit the flag and your body will drop right down in. But as you can see, I'm not doing a very good job of that. Or you can throw yourself kind of in the bottom and hopefully, there, you get in. And that's how you complete the hole. You can go back and make signs with pars and stuff like that and make cart paths. But basically, I'll just show you that, what a finished one would look like. But that's basically how you get started in making your golf course. Alright, so we're here in my clubhouse, which kind of got some ugly banners and a weirdly shaped roof, but, whatever. It's got a decent looking inside there. You can't see on the signs, but they got the prices and the rules for playing. And they got ender pearls for you to grab there. Nice little jukebox. Another jukebox up here and a nice little table. So just kind of nice, golfy stuff. Kind of a golf clubhouse. But basically, you head out here onto the course. And you'd play kind of like this. This is the first hole. As you can see, the fairway runs down here and cuts up to the right there. That gray, which I used wool for, is the cart path. And boom. That's how I missed the hole. And I'm in the hole now. So that'd be kind of how you play the first hole. As you see, I got my signs and my pars. They reflect real life pars. As you can see, I went with the one alternating path on this golf course. As you can see, all my bunkers, and I grew most of these trees in here. This one I do not have the greens edged with that darker one. I just have the straight greens, but I also got a nice map here where you can see the golf course, so you kind of know where you're going. But yeah, the cart paths and the signs just kind of direct you throughout the course, and you can just go through and play. Got a nice desert temple there. As you can see, you got my tee boxes, and then those connect to my fairways, which connect to my greens, and kind of just like I was showing you. Got everything in here. Got my slabs down there, which makes for a tough shot. As you can see though, I went whole blocks there. There's no half cut-offs. And yeah, the course just kind of weaves in and out here. But I'll probably just head over to 18, which is a cool hole I want to show you. And then we'll move on to my other two courses here. So 18, you kind of start along this ocean, and then it kind of plays along the coast, back up down to the left to the water. So it's a cool hole, I think, and just really shows off how you can make a hole in the course pretty well. So after a quick little trip, we've come back to my other course, which compared to real life, it's kind of like a country club course, and that other one's just like a cool little vacation course. As you can see, I used some birch fences there for out-of-bounds stakes. You got some ponds. I went with the 3 alternating pattern on this one. And I got my greens lined. And I got bunkers in. As you can see, I used different kinds of tee markers on this one. The other one was wood. And as you saw, it had nice trees or bushes around it. This one, no bushes, but there are trees everywhere here. I grew all these up on my own. I used birch and oak for a natural look in this biome. And as you can see, my holes just play out here. The fairways are much, much larger. And the greens look better now that they're lined with that stuff. So this was my second golf course. As you can see, I kind of evolved a little bit, playing out onto islands and stuff. So a little more challenging. And then on to my third golf course here, which is still a work in progress. I went again with the kind of stone-ish tee markers there. As you can see, the fairways, this is supposed to be like a links course over in Scotland. As you can see, so I took a shovel to get this kind of dirt brown dead fairway. And then I didn't line the greens because that's they kind of look that way in real life. As you can see, I haven't added any tees in or flags in yet, but I got the fairways in and bunkers in, and then I grew up the long grass by just hitting the dirt blocks with the bone meal, and it grows the long grass, so it's kind of like the heather that you would see in real life. And yeah, the course just kind of plays out and around. Got some nice water holes here. A tricky hole if you get stuck down here to get back up and play to the green. And yeah, it just kind of goes throughout the savanna here. It's a little more open, not as treed, but there is long grass, and it plays up on this hilltop, and it's a little different, but it's just another example of how you can build a cool looking golf course. Maybe just a little different than the other two, but all 3 are vastly different, but they're all cool and realistic in their own rights. So I hope now you have an idea of how to build an Ender Pearl golf course and make it look realistic and cool. And that's all. Hope you liked the video. Hope you like and subscribe. If you have any comments on or concerns, put them in the comments below. And that's all.